Episode of the Everblack Podcast is brought to you by Death Wish Hot Rods and Customs. Check out their Instagram for all their new t-shirts, caps, beanies, cups, and the all-new Atomic Death lineup.
Good shirt. Good shirt.
Oh, yeah, my filter shirt. Yeah.
Mm.
Second favorite band of all time.
Oh, wow. Is Pumpkin still number one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Hey, there you go. There you go. Yep.
I was watching some footage of the Riot Fest show.
Oh, yep.
The weekend, it felt like home. It felt like we're kind of creeping back towards normalcy. They were playing a big show with lots of people, and
it's huge.
It was cool.
Huge.
Yeah.
And I love those little clips of Billy's wife and kids. Like always these kids like bouncing around backstage.
Oh, and I think one of them, his daughter got up and sang or something for us.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah.
I always wondered about the whole Corgan household.
Yeah.
Like the kids are like, "Oh, hey Dad, can I have an extra cookie?" And he says to them what he said to me.
What's that?
I don't think so. I asked him for a photo, and that's what he said to me. In that exact voice. I
shook his hand once. It went all the way up to my elbow.
Oh, really? Yeah.
People don't realize how tall that guy. What is he, like 6'5"-ish or something?
He's, I don't know. You know what's the big tree in Lord of the Rings? He's about that.
Yeah, he's about that. Yeah.
But yeah, that was like one of the hardest moments of my life was meeting Billy Corgan.
Yeah.
Favorite band, and he wasn't having it. He was not having it.
Never meet heroes, man.
Nah. Well, I mean, it's
Jimmy Chamberlain interview went well.
Oh, he was awesome. Oh,
Yeah,
Jimmy. Yeah. Corgan's a hard cookie to crack though. And I should have known it. I expected, I had this fantasy, as a kid, you're like, Corgan's gonna be like, you go all right, kid. You go all right. And I'll be like, yeah, Billy, we best friends now. He'd be like, we're best friends now. Then it was, who the fuck are you? Get away from me. And I was like, oh no. Oh no. Oh well. So GUTTERFIRE, how are you guys tonight? Is the big question.
Great.
Pretty good.
We just picked up our vinyl.
Did you? Where is it? Is it here?
Yeah.
Come on. Give us will you look at that. That is shiny. Yeah, that's it. We need that that music where it's like on sale of the century.
You need to see the inside photos.
Yeah,
the most awkward family photo you've ever seen.
Look at that. That is beautiful. Look at that. That is incredible.
All right.
Look at that. That is so good. Well done, boys. Well done.
Have any of us had a vinyl before?
No.
None of us have ever had a vinyl, so we're pretty chuffed with that.
I would be too. Absolutely. It's kind of these days. It's kind of like it's a big achievement. I mean, back in the day, early, in the 80s, early 90s, if you had a vinyl, it was just how it was. But now it's like, you got a vinyl, man? That's fucking cool. It's the way.
It's a boutique thing.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
But people love it. People love the old vinyl. And that thing will sound incredible on vinyl. So, of course, we're talking about your debut, Chill, and it's anything but chill. It's like, you know what I mean? It's loud and heavy and doomy, and it's a real good fucking time. That's my review.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
I appreciate that. A fan or a friend coined the term upbeat doom, and we're sticking with that.
I like that. I like it. That is really cool. Well, of course, I mean, how long ago did these tracks go? When did they start writing? When did you start writing them? See, I'm not even halfway through this beer.
Yeah. We just had our third birthday actually as a band. We've been playing most of these tracks from day one, like the inception of the band. So
and it is our debut. So as with all debuts, you just write tracks over a series of years, and then they go on your first album. So That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Mind you, yeah, we did finish them all and record them all in February 2020.
Yeah, nearly 2 years ago.
Wow.
2020 is going to be rad. We're going to release the album. We're going to go on tour.
Yeah.
Man, how's it feel finally having it out there? I mean, it must feel awesome that you're holding that vinyl now, and it's after everything that's happened in the last 12 months alone. It must be such a special feeling.
Like giving birth to a watermelon.
We've all been there, right?
No, it's great. It's great, because we wanted to do it at the right time. And look, we could have put it off longer and waited for an even better time. But I think at this point we were just like, it's got to come out. We've been sitting on this for 19 months, but that's not to take away from how right everything is right now. We got the album coming out. It's going really well. The tour is coming up, and we actually think, at least most of those days will actually happen. So yeah.
I was talking to a friend the other day, and we were talking about albums that don't come out when they were meant to come out, and it happens all the time. There's bands that have albums shelved for years. So we were meant to put this out a year ago, but hey, obviously it was a bit dumb to do that, so we just went, let's put it back a year, and here it is.
Yeah. We saw some friends put some stuff out during the pandemic, and we understood why. It's like, well, let's give people content. They need content right now. But some of it sort of fell flat, and we were like, no, let's wait until we can actually back it up with some shows. And
we had the good fortune of having a bunch of singles recorded before as well. Yeah. So so we could kind of buy ourselves some time in that regard. Yeah. So we had some releases to drop. So.
And with this year, we were expecting that just everything would go back to normal, and it hasn't quite panned out that way. Yeah, but it's definitely at least up here a lot better. And so we just went, we did talk. There was another reason to also maybe delay the album release, which we'll get into soon. But we just went, what? Let's get it out there. So let's not delay it again.
100%. Because I, as you mentioned before, I know a bunch of bands who released really, really good fucking albums, but because everyone's attention was, they made impacts when they dropped, that's for sure, but people sort of, their minds were elsewhere, which kind of bums me out, because some of those albums are some of my favorite albums like ever. But it's Carcass just released their latest album as well, and that was delayed for like a whole year as well. A lot of bands are doing it, and I think it's a bummer, but it's kind of a smart move. And I think now is the right time, because people are starting to get vaccinated and things are starting to get somewhat back to normal, I think, up here anyway in Queensland. But I feel sorry for everyone down south at the moment. I'm thinking about you guys out there. But of course, you recorded the album with Brock Weston at Bedlam Records. Is that right?
Yeah, and of Bugs fame.
Man.
He's a drummer in Bugs. Yeah, he was it wouldn't have been what it is without him. He was the sixth member of the band. He got us in a way that we weren't expecting. We were expecting to have to explain ourselves a lot more. Yeah. But just as a producer, he just, even though it was a little bit outside his wheelhouse, maybe, he got us right away. And it was just, top to bottom, it was such a pleasant experience doing that album with him. He was amazing.
And I had a chat with him, and he said, look, I've always wanted to do some upbeat doom. So he didn't have to twist his arm or anything. It was pretty simple.
Yeah. Well, it sounds huge.
Drummer. So
yeah, he's a drummer. So Clay and him worked. The drums are just immaculate on the album, and they worked really well together. Banged them out in 2 days.
2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good fun. It's a big couple of days.
Slammed it out.
Yeah, a lot of that, with how they banged the drums out real quick and the way Brock worked, it allowed us a lot of extra time that we didn't think we would have at the end of the 2 weeks to play around with some stuff and add some extra overdubs and just add some extra flavors to stuff. We're we're not sick of the album, but we've been listening to it for a long time. But as much as we have listened to the album, we're still very proud of it. When you hear it, there's a lot of detail in there and a lot of stuff that we got to add on the end.
And it was a lot of fun too.
It was so much fun.
We had a good couple of days, and we actually, in the end, we finished a day early, which is ridiculous. You know, we only had 2 weeks, and we finished a day early.
That's awesome.
So that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Is there anything weird that you threw in there as an Easter egg that only you guys would sort of know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Come on, spill beans, mate.
There's a bit in the song called Bonfire where we were like, we couldn't quite find the right percussion instrument for like this sort of stomp clap thing that was happening.
Yeah.
So we put all of the percussion instruments in a crate. We used all of them,
and we had
like boom. It was like,
and we had a couple of flip flops as well. Some thongs were slapping together instead of claps. So we had
That's awesome
as well.
Yeah.
And
really
cool was Mike, our bass player. He had a Tibetan
singing bowl.
And
so
he was like, you know, I really would like to bring this in somehow. And so when you listen to the start and the end of the album, it's like the thing, like it starts with Tibetan bowl, you know, and finishes with Tibetan bowl. And so
the Tibetan bowl reversed.
So it's cool. That's good.
There you go. I was wondering what that was. That's really cool. See, there's always something. But you know, of course, I mean, both the video for 8 and I'll Be Along were directed by Clint Lewis, and he's from, was it Red Tape Pictures?
Yeah.
Mate,
Yeah.
Awesome work.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, I've known him since we were like 12 and 13 or something, and sort of I see what he does online. I didn't realize until I actually contacted him like how amazing I mean, he's working with like members of the Tea Party. He's working with members of UPI. So he's and you know, he works at a very reasonable rate considering who he's worked with. And
the church as well.
Yeah, the church. He's worked with the church, and we came to him with this crazy, complicated idea involving puppets and a venue and all this. And he just but despite all of that, that was the most painless film clip experience we'd ever had up to that day.
Yeah, so, he's just a brilliant director. He just knows how to work a crowd and get what he needs. And it was amazing to work with him, and we definitely will again.
Yeah.
Did he do Chill as well?
No, we did that ourselves.
Oh yeah, you can blame me for that one.
No, it came out good. No, it came out really good. Good job.
If I'd be really honest, when we put forward the idea after 2 film clips by Clint, when we put forward the idea of doing something ourselves, I was like, no. But Clay knocked it out of the park. I was really happy, you know. And it's I guess it's more of a promo video for the album, but it's I really like it. I think.
Let's just be honest. We were broke. So Clay jumped on board and he said, "Oh, I can do this," and we had faith in him. So.
And it suits the song, I think. That sort of it catches that.
Just raw and dirty.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, talking about the video for 8 is it's really cool. The puppets. You know where I stand on the nerdy shit and the puppets and things like that. You know, I'm a sucker for all that stuff. How was it working with them? I mean, did they?
Well, it was great because we know Brett's brother Todd from King Parrot.
You would know Toddy as well.
So it's his brother. And so we know. I used to play with Brett in bands years ago when I was a kid. And so when we worked out it was him, we were like, oh yeah, let's do this. And they are just, you know, they've been trained in America at the Jim Henson School, and you know, like they're legit, and they are absolute pros with the puppets. And
it was such a fun day.
So cool.
It was so fun. Yeah. And the guys from Lagerside turned up and
with a
couple of slabs of beer. Made it a party, and that was amazing.
Yeah. Did the puppets drink all the beer, or did they try and sell you some of that shit to take you to the Rainbow Connection? You know what I'm saying?
They were just sitting around in the shadows with hands up their asses.
That
was really cool, but I really like that video. It's really, really good.
Well, that song 8 was so when there's 10 songs on the album. When we went to the studio, because we had extra time, we recorded 12.
Yeah.
And we figured the other 2 B-sides could be maybe releases when we need to buy some time. So that was sort of part of how we bought ourselves some time before we released the album later. So eight was one of the. So we recorded that in the album sessions. It's not on the album, but it was it was a good way to sort of stretch things out a bit, and we like that song a lot.
I do too. It's really cool. What was I saying? I'm got caught up with puppets. You're thinking about the puppets and the windshield. Yeah, the shit goes on the windshield. And, yeah. I've watched it a few times. It's awesome. But the track "This Is Fine" now, is that it's inspired by the meme with the dog in the room and the burning room?
Absolutely, yes.
That sure is. Pretty much sums up the last 12 months or so, right? More than that now. Shit.
Well, the song is it was originally inspired by the meme and about different things, but then the bushfires happened, and I think everyone's forgotten that happened. But I kind of repurposed the lyrics at that point and made it about that. But yeah, it was absolutely inspired by that meme.
And it's malleable. We can apply that to recent times as well.
yeah.
Just I know it's like my spirit animal. Hey. Talking about animals, the album cover, the metal rooster. Well, has it got a name?
The Doomcock.
The what?
The Doomcock.
The Doomcock. That is incredible. I love it.
Well, okay, I can explain. I can explain this. Right, this is our very first bit of merch. It was a gutter, right, with a flame in it. And then when we were getting a design, someone turned it upside down and was like, "That looks like a rooster." And
use your imagination.
There's a line in our first single talking about the Armageddon rooster, and then that evolved into the Doomcock. And then we're like, the Doomcock sounds great. And then we got our good friend Kira, Kira Fetting to eventually we were like, we need a proper Doomcock, and she designed the album cover, Doomcock again. Yeah. And now he's basically he's our Eddie from Iron Maiden.
I love it. You know what you need? You need like one of those big giant Doomcocks that walks out on stage like Eddie does.
Oh man, I'd love to do like a Doomcock plush toy or something, or and do like a big Doomcock on stage.
Or like you know how Akadaka got Rosie.
Yeah,
big inflatable
Rosie, big inflatable Doomcock on stage in like the zoo would just be amazing, and everyone would just be like, I would put money towards that. You should start like a GoFundMe or something for raise money for the Doomcock.
Money well spent.
I just can't wait till we get our jet. With the
with the Doomcock. The Doomcock on the side of it. Which one of us is going to learn how to fly?
I'll take that one.
I love it. I love it so much. And Kira, she did such a good job. She's an amazing artist, by the way.
She is. And we always try to work with local artists. And give them a chance to do artwork. If you look at our first few singles, we've worked with a few different people. Nelson Donsky, amazing for Quantum Bacterium. Lachlan Damfart was great for Jaws of the Universe. For Hella was Kira again.
And we got a T-shirt done with Hoppo.
Hoppo.artist. He did one of our sort of limited one. We like to we do the merch with the obvious stuff like the album cover and stuff, but every now and then we just like to do a one-off. We'll just find a good artist and get them to do a cool design. He did a fucking fantastic design.
Great.
Yeah. It's
I
think we still got a few for sale at gigs and stuff.
Yeah,
it's very good.
Who's going to get some Doomcock tattoos? You guys going to do it?
Probably can.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good design. I probably would do it. Yeah.
I'll do it. We'll live stream it.
You should. Hey, that's a really good idea. That's a really, really good idea. Man.
Yeah, we'll live stream.
Let me write that down.
All of the band members getting a Doomcock.
Yeah, at the same time. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, this is a bit of a shit question, and I hate asking bands shit questions.
Yeah.
Most of them probably were, but that's okay. This one is the band name.
Yeah.
That it alludes that it's something that's happened that's crazy along the years to one of you boys. Something to do with a fire and a gutter or a gutter fire. There's a crazy story behind the band name.
I wish.
I'd like to.
There isn't.
I'd like to tell you that we came up with it because of some deep thing, but we actually just had a word combiner thing online. We spent months and we couldn't agree on a band name. Although it has come to mean, to me at least, it's kind of like the world right now. It's a bit of a gutterfire.
It's true.
I was actually in Canada at the time, and I'd been away for a good month. And before I left, we couldn't agree on a name. We'd thrown around about 20 or 30 different names. Each of us come up with ideas, and nothing stuck. And I was I'd had a big night the night before, and I was really hungover. And the message came through about the band name, and I just went, I just don't care anymore.
Gutterfire, the first, because I was the one putting names forward, and for the most part, Gutterfire got nixed at first. Everyone went, nah. And it was among many other names where everyone's just like, nah, fuck that. And then, but then it was like a week later, someone went back and went, actually, you know what, Gutterfire, that's not so bad.
That would have been you,
right?
Yeah, no, it wasn't me. I think it was actually.
I think it was Clay. Yeah.
And then everyone was like, "Oh yeah, that's actually all right." And then so we settled on that, you know.
And the rest is history.
Stuck the exclamation on the exclamation.
Oh, yeah. That was always caps, always exclamation mark.
That's it. Yeah. See, that's what got me. I was like, there has to be a story.
Main stage, 7 p.m. always.
That's our terms and conditions.
That's an in-joke. Yeah.
Never happens.
First time I saw you guys was, where was it? Wallapalooza.
Yeah.
We played with you guys at Wallapalooza that time.
Yeah.
Man, that was
a good
like
day.
2 years ago. No, that was longer than that. I just aged incredibly fast.
Yeah.
That would have been in 2019, I think.
It was, yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun. It was rad.
Yeah.
That was a gig. That was when it was in that restaurant part.
It was.
Great room. Sounded good too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was, man. That was a really good gig.
Yeah. We had a lot of fun that day and that night.
Yeah.
Like that gig too, right?
Well, I mean, you guys have played some rad shows of late. I mean, didn't you do, was it the King Lear's Throne birthday show the other night?
Yeah, it was SixftHick, which is a bucket list thing for me personally.
Same.
Yeah, it was Kenny's birthday, his 30th.
And our album launch at the same time. Yeah. So,
man, I haven't played there yet. Is it good? Good place?
Yeah,
really cool.
He bought out the second room next door.
Yeah.
That's all. That whole room now is just about gigs.
Yeah.
And then the bar, as it was, is still next door to that. And it's a good room.
Sounds good.
Yeah, sounds good.
It's loud.
Yeah, it's very loud.
I'm hearing that happening at the moment. Happening with Vinnie's at the moment too, down here on the coast.
Yeah, exact same thing. Yeah.
You get it's not a bad way to open up a venue. You know, you start small. If it goes well, buy out next door.
The lady in West End did the same thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of dive bars doing that.
Yeah,
it's good. It's good. I mean, if it was me, I'd just sledgehammer them until they left anyway. You know, just break down that wall and you'll poke your head through and they're like, what are you doing? You're like, well, you were extending anyway. No, don't do that. Don't do that. But what else you guys got coming up? You got a tour coming up?
Yeah, we've got about 9 more shows on the tour. It's been an interesting one to try and book and manage, but we are doing the East Coast, fingers crossed. And but things are looking, you know, the way we designed it. You know, Victoria, New South Wales is right towards the end of the year, which is a good thing. So we're hearing that, you know, and from the news that we might be able to do this thing and pull it all off. So we'll see. Yeah.
And Aftermath.
Yep.
You
know, Christian from Beats Cartel was very good to us. We were like, hey, we're looking to tour. And he's like, well, Aftermath is happening. Just play the East Coast for that. So that made our lives pretty easy.
And we've just basically just booked shows around that, you know, smaller, more localized shows in different areas. And it's been highly challenging, particularly with what's going on in New South Wales at the moment. But yeah, we have got a tour together, believe it or not. So
it's going to be great.
It's happening.
Absolutely. And shout out to Christian from Moser. I saw him the other night. He's out there somewhere.
He's been very kind to us, and we really appreciate it.
Legend. And you mentioned before, did you say that there was extra songs that were recorded for the album that didn't make the cut?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
8 was one of them.
Yeah.
The 2 singles ago. There's one more which we'll probably use to buy a bit of time sometime after the album cycle.
Early next year, maybe.
Yeah.
Really raw blues rocker. Yeah, I think you'll dig it.
I think it'll be more mid next year.
I
really think mid, let's just try and
what's it called?
Yeah.
Violent Kind of Humble.
What was that? Sorry.
A Violent Kind of Humble.
Oh, that's cool. Is that its actual name?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I thought you were just making it up because you're trying to keep.
No.
People
it's probably. I personally, I would call it our most clutchy sounding song.
Yeah.
It's a bit different to the album. Very, very bluesy.
I think what happened with the album was we were leaning more towards heavier, doomier sort of stuff, and 8 and A Violent Kind of Humble. They're just good rock songs, and southern kind of rock songs, and they just didn't quite fit, and so we just went. I was really big on having all 12, but thank goodness we didn't do that, because then we wouldn't have been able to press vinyl. We would have had to have done 2 records. So thankfully we did. They chopped it, and I went, all right, we'll chop it down to 10, and so we could do vinyl, which is great, but they just didn't fit. So we just thought, you know what, let's keep them up our sleeve and use them where we can. And 8 has actually saved us, because that bought us 4 months over COVID, and we got to put out content, great film clip, and play some shows around that. So that was really cool.
Yeah. I've said a lot. There's a few through lines with us. So we're all very different people, and we're all from very different musical backgrounds. But the things that brought us together were like, Sabbath, Zeppelin, Queens of the Stone Age, Clutch, Red Fang. Red Fang in particular. These 2 would never have met if it wasn't for Red Fang. They met in the line for Red Fang.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I was actually at the bar.
At the bar. But and so those things do unite us. But because we're all from very different backgrounds, we all want to do different things, and no one sort of denies anyone else the chance to do that. So we have this sort of middle ground, and then we can jump out into different genres or ideas that we that are a bit off center for us. But they get tied together. I think the album is sort of a testament to that there's a few different kinds of ideas in there, but they are tied together by this through line that ties the sound together.
It's extremely eclectic, but it's all Gutterfire.
Yeah. But every now and then you get 8 or Violent Kind of Humble, which are just a bit too out there to fit, say, on the album. But are still us, and we still will release them. But
and the other thing is all of us write. So that's pretty rare in a band. Usually you have 1 or 2 people that are key writers, but we actually all write.
Yeah.
And so that really creates quite a good amount of diversity. And that's where you hear, a little bit of difference here or there, or something a bit quirky. That's because someone else wrote that, and we'll all bring in our songs, and I'll write my songs and I'll lead those songs, but then these guys bring their bits in and we'll change stuff, and that's what makes it Gutterfire.
And that's what I love about the process too. The collaboration is what I'm addicted to with writing music, so it's beautiful.
100%. Is that a sword shirt?
It is.
Thought I recognize that logo even from cool. That's awesome. I do hear so much in your music though. And that pretty much explains it. Hey, like it's, usually you don't get that these days with bands. It's usually just, 1, 2 dudes will write stuff and but it's good. It's really good. I don't know, like Photon Jon and I have had many, many conversations about bands over the years, and it always leads back to Smashing Pumpkins somehow. I don't know. It's good when bands can all throw in those different influences instead of just one, and I think that's what makes you guys quite special and kicking ass.
Thanks, man.
I know vocally for me, it's I mean, I'm bringing in elements, like I talk a lot about how I love Smashing Pumpkins, but I also love Cannibal Corpse, but I also love Kylie Minogue, but I also love Queens of the Stone Age. But it's not lip service. Like, I'm actually bringing in elements from all of those things, and I'm very consciously trying to do that into my vocal style. And I think the whole band does that. We consciously bring in elements from so many different places, and somehow I'd like to say it's difficult, but it's not. Somehow the five of us, when we get in a room, from the very first day all the five of us got in a room, I think we all knew something magical was happening there.
Well, the thing for me is I've been in a lot of bands for a very long time, and I've never been able to write with people so quickly. And we've already written half a new album because of COVID. In the lockdowns last year, we just went, all right, well, the year's gone, so let's just write more music. And we wrote another like 7 or 8 songs that are all ready to go. So we actually write really quickly, and that's cool. I've never experienced that. It happens really easily, which is refreshing.
And think about it, like, it's written quickly, but it's all quality stuff too. You're not just pumping out whatever, because every song on this record is a banger, and those singles as well that you've released. Thank you. Like, I can't wait to hear this other one.
And I think probably it's more that we write naturally, so it's just a very organic process, and it just kind of evolves really nicely. Like we all just kind of gel well in the writing space, which is cool.
I think my favorite thing about the feedback we're hearing from the album is that there aren't any fillers. That's good, because we didn't consider any of those songs to be fillers. So if anyone said that to us, we would be very happy. But it's just natural, and we're curious, and we love playing together, and we tie it all together well. I think probably as we evolve past this album, we're going more extreme in every direction. We're going heavier and softer and more punk, and it's interesting. But we still feel like it sounds like us. So that's good.
It's exciting times. What else you guys got cooking up?
Well, the tour is the main thing at the moment, and just selling as many vinyls and CDs as we can to
recoup some of this
money. And we've got a few other things in the works that we won't talk about right now.
Come on. I know this. I get this all the time. People get to a point and they go, I can't say that. And then I'm just like, but it's...
Probably the big issue is our bass player, Mike, who's been unwell at the moment. And right now we're touring with another bass player, Julian, who's just amazing. And, he learnt the whole freaking album plus another song in 2 weeks. And we literally played that show last week. He's only jammed with us for 2 weeks, and he played a show, and he just killed it. So at the moment, the big thing for us really, the day that the album came out, Mike had some pretty serious stuff going on with his health, and really it's just about him getting better and getting things right for next year so he can come back.
Well, I didn't know whether to bring that up or not, but I respect you guys did, and all the best to him if he watches this out there.
Hey, Mike.
Mike, legend. Hey,
I was just hanging out with Mike this afternoon, and he's doing really well. So he's on the mend, which is great. Yeah.
That's awesome to hear, boys. But hey, thanks for having a beer. Well, what are you guys having? What do you got there? Is that a Burley?
The 4 Pines.
Okay, cool. See, I'm really far away. And what are you drinking? Right on.
I'm drinking the Beck's. I like Wade introduced me to the Beck's, the imported German one, because made with the purity laws, you can drink as much as you want, no hangover.
Go. And what do you got there?
I'm on the 4 Pines replay. So,
I see.
He, as usual, is stealing my beers.
Yes,
so.
I'm having a whacker, like I always do.
Are they good?
I love them. Cheap, but not nasty. Yeah, really good. Okay. They not sponsoring the show. Please sponsor the show. They're from New Zealand, but as you can see by the cover,
Oh yeah, I've seen that. I think I've had one of those before.
Get it?
I like the label. That's how I choose my beers.
Yeah, see, that's what I saw it and I found it hilarious, and I drank it and I was like, you know what? That's the best $12 I ever spent. And then I went and got a carton and another one. But yeah, boys, thank you so much. Of course, we'll have all the links down here. Chill is out now. Get the vinyl. Get yourself some vinyl and throw the dudes some money so they can
$30.
10-foot Doomcock on stage.
Yes.
Best thing in the world.
Yeah.
Take care, boys.
Cheers, man.
You too, man.
All right, hey, chuck it back in. We'll get a screen grab for the little thumbnail.
Yeah, there we go.
Do the slow motion. Take over the screen. Yes. So 80s.
There we go. Good talking to you, boys. Have a good night and thanks for hanging.
Thanks, man. You too.
Cheers.
See you next time.
Cheers.